Sustainable Development Goal number 13. Take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts by regulating emissions and promoting developments in renewable energy. The resolution was arrived at in May 2015 when a UN report concluded that an ambitious, effective deal in Paris would enable countries tackle climate change. The renewed emphasis on its mitigation was made possible by the partial Sino-American convergence that was developed in 2015-2016.
To work together on concrete solutions for our climate, our environment. I can assure you, France will not give up the fight. I reaffirm clearly that the Paris Agreement remains irreversible and will be implemented, not just by France, but by all the other nations.
In Uganda, the implementation of the agreement was launched in March 2017, with the Uganda Coalition for Sustainable Development steering the process.
After such long, rigorous and time-consuming negotiations, we were able to agree that at least all the countries, one of the cornerstones of that is that all the countries should carry out the national climate actions voluntarily.
However, few months into its implementation, cracks have emerged with the withdrawal of the US, causing more alarms than whispers.
In order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord, but begin negotiations to re-enter either the Paris Accord or in really entirely new transaction.
Environmentalists across the world, including Uganda, seem to have been rubbed the wrong way by this announcement. Kabongo Isaac is the chairman, Climate Action Network Africa, who doubles as the executive director, Ecological Christian Organization.
And climate change, if it's not tackled with serious engagement of countries like the US, then we are likely to live with this challenge for a very long period.
So this withdrawal is a very unfortunate occurrence.
It's a decision which is going to hold sustainable development. It's a decision which is going to hold the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. It is going to hold the achievement of the Agenda 21.
Is it just the belief that US President Donald Trump does not believe in climate change existence? Uganda's Minister for Water and Environment, Sam Cheptoris, thinks otherwise.
Actually, I think he believes that climate change is real, but there is a base of his support base, particularly these ones who are producing coal. I think who have put pressure on him to withdraw from the Paris Agreement.
For the fact that US is the second largest green gas emitter in the world, where could this be headed?
As president, I can put no other consideration before the well-being of American citizens. The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States.
What implication does it have on climate change mitigation in the world? Richard Kimbowa, the program coordinator, Uganda Coalition for Sustainable Development, shares similar views with French President Emmanuel Macron.
I do respect this decision, but I do think it is an actual mistake, both for the US and for our planet.
The Green Climate Fund, to which the US is supposed to replenish, is going to be affected, because that is the main fund that was put up by the Conference of Parties right away from Durban.
It is not the future we want for ourselves. It is not the future we want for our children. It is not the future we want for our world.
12th December 2015. 196 parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, including East Africa, adopted the Paris Agreement. It was a legally binding network for an internationally coordinated effort to tackle climate change, whose implementation had trailed for a while. The withdrawal of the United States from the agreement leaves more questions on what will become of its implementation, answers which only time will provide. Henry Okurut, UBC.